Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Welcome back again in this episode. In this episode, which is a little bit different because we're shooting in a cafeteria here, I want to bring to the table why English is so important from the perspective of quotes. These are considered the most influential quotes in the world in terms of language learning and why English and any other language that you learn is important in particular. The first quote is the closest to my heart, and that is by Ludwig Wittgenstein or Wittgenstein. And he says, "The limits of my language mean the limits of my world." Think about it. If you are perceiving the world around you from the perspective of Arabic, for example, think about the other dimensions that can be added and layered in your mind if you think of another language and how important that is. It's so important actually to look at the world from different lenses, from different perspectives, from different dimensions. And all of that can be culminating in the sense of second language acquisition and second language learning. I really think I bring these kind of quotes to the table because I want to push you to learn a second language. Those who learn a second language get 50% chance more of job opportunities and promotions in career and landing better job opportunities. The second quote I think of is a different language is a different version of life. Think about this kind of quotes that maybe the kind of versions of life that you have is probably because the kind of language that you think of. Now, our thoughts are filtered through language. Well, let me tell you, this kind of speech that I'm presenting right now may tend or lean to be more philosophical than pedagogic and learning. But if you can listen to me and if you can read the Arabic subtitle or the English subtitle here, you can think about the different versions of language that you have and the way they can give you a translation of the world or the universe in general. We are trapped in this box that is called brain. And the only access to different cultures, to different senses, to different smells is through the senses that we have. So the brain is, in a nutshell, trapped. And if we think of different dimensions using different languages, the shape of our ideas, the shape of our thoughts will definitely shift in a better way. And the third quote is one language sets you in a corridor for life. Two languages open every door along the way. I I really think that the and this is probably my own personal individualistic observation. I haven't seen a person in my life who spoke two languages who failed in his life. I mean, failing is part of the success of people. But what I mean by failure here is that they just thought that they are not achieving anything in life and they just retired. No. Every person who speaks a second language that I can think of has secured and landed a very wonderful job in his career. Next quote is those who know nothing of foreign languages know nothing of their own. A lot of our misunderstanding of other people and other cultures is coming from the fact that we probably just cornering ourselves in just learning one language and understanding one language, and even Arabic, which is to some extent not getting enough attention by us. Because if you walk in the street and ask people about certain grammatical rules in Arabic, they might not get them right. And that is because there's so much gap nowadays between the formal modern standard Arabic and the spoken Iraqi dialect. I can tell you something that might be surprising to you that modern standard Arabic is as foreign as English, whether American or British or Canadian or Australian versions of to your ears, because we were born listening only to the Iraqi dialect of the modern standard Arabic. So we didn't acquire modern standard Arabic by the factory setting, by the factory default setting. You see, the next quote I can just say to you that might be inspiring is, you can never understand one language until you understand at least two. If you think for a second about the importance of this quote, you would definitely have more motivation to learn a second language. Because sometimes you being a translator, or you being a teacher, you being a mentor, or you being a specialist in certain kind of field, you need the language, and you need the first language to communicate with local people, but you need a second language for your travel. And without the second language, your chances of enjoying the travel and your chances of getting in trouble are really high. To have another language is to possess a second soul. You have no idea how many people whom I met think that they have a second character just because they speak a second language. They might tend to be a little bit emotional in the first language, but just wearing the glasses of the second language and being so expressive is a life changing experience. Change your language and you change your thoughts. Now, I can think of Albert Einstein when he says, we cannot solve our problems by the same kind of mindset that created these kind of, or this sort of problems. And that is just because sometimes we have one dimension, one unilateral kind of channel of understanding and thinking of the world. But if we have two channels, we can definitely understand the world better. This is why I'm creating this kind of like thoughtful, philosophical slash reflective podcast in this noisy environment. But just the idea that I'm trying to present to you here. Seize the day. If you get 1% chance in your day to learn one single vocabulary, that is going to definitely help you in the long run. Have a wonderful day. مدرب اللغة وليد خالد.